What's up, boys? So I'm recording this super late and I want to get it out before the game start tonight. So I'm going to try and make this video as quick as possible. But today we're going over the round 2 games, the Bulls and Raptors and the Pelicans and the Thunder here. Real quick, if you guys haven't subscribed already and you like my content, maybe consider subscribing. It only takes a second. We're on the road to 1K. Before we talk about these next 2 games, I'll quickly mention last night's games. Hawks game was a little bit underwhelming for sure. I thought it was going to be a pretty solid game considering they're both very evenly matched teams, and in previous outings, the games are really close and really fun to watch. But I called it right. I feel like a lot of people in the NBA community thought that the Heat were going to win, a lot of my friends included, and I called the Hawks winning, and the Hawks won last night because of Trae Young. Although Trae Young did have a good game, it was more so just incredible coaching from Quinn Snyder. Excellent team effort from the Hawks, and they dominated them on the offensive glass. The Heat just looked terrible offensively. Kyle Lowry had an incredible game, but didn't amount to anything because he had no supporting cast, and Bam stunk it up. So did Jimmy Butler too, actually. And then the Lakers-Timberwolves game, it was an incredible game. That game was awesome. Especially towards the end, there was just so many mix-ups that I was not expecting to happen. Obviously called that game too with the Lakers winning that one. Even though it was a fun game to watch, extremely sloppy basketball. Some of the worst basketball I've ever seen played, but it was still so much fun. Anthony Davis and LeBron James had good games, and that's probably one of the biggest reasons why they were managed to come out with a dub. Anthony Davis almost choked the game away, but it doesn't matter because their defense was elite. And Anthony Edwards was having a horrendous night. I mean, probably the worst game of his career by far. Cat almost fouled out yet again. All right, now let's get into tonight's game, starting with the Raptors versus the Bulls. I'm actually going to go with the upset here. Maybe it's not an upset anymore, but I'm going to go with the Bulls beating the Raptors. Ever since the Patrick Beverley trade and the Bulls' new team coming after the trade deadline, they have been a pretty solid team. They're top 10 in defensive rating after the trade deadline. They've started to pick up their clutch factor, and they've been one of the better clutch teams down the stretch of the NBA season. Zach LaVine's been balling out of control. Granted, I don't like their odds against the Toronto defense because DeMar DeRozan tends to struggle really hard, especially this season against Toronto, averaging only, I think, like 14 points against that defense. Toronto's offense is near pitiful. With the Bulls finally starting to play really gritty, really hard-nosed defense with Patrick Beverley, they have a lot of faith. They have a lot of energy with that team. If Zach LaVine comes out the ball, I really do think that the Bulls have a really good chance of coming out in this series. And you got the Pelicans versus the Thunder. This game is a coin flip, man. This game is an absolute coin flip. It's going to be a really good game. It's going to be a really stressful game as a Pelicans fan, but I'm going to have to give the edge to the Pelicans. Now, don't get me wrong. There is a little bit of bias here, but also is there really? I mean, the Pelicans are favored to win this matchup. They have the better depth. I think they have more players to come out and shine on a single elimination game to bring them to the next round. They're fired up by Coach Willie Green. And when it comes down to Brandon Ingram versus Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, even though Shai's the better player, I have more faith in Brandon Ingram because he's more consistent, whereas Shai, he's consistent, but there are some games where it looks like he's just not on his game, or he gets a lot of fouls because the refs aren't calling his way, because he is one of the more aggressive players in the NBA. Plus, the Pelicans just have more experience, and that's also a major reason why I'm picking the Pelicans here. Experience is a big factor when it comes to this. They're undefeated in play-in situations, even though that's not really a big thing considering they've only played one play-in game. But still, they know this environment. OKC doesn't. OKC's super young. I gotta go with the Pelicans here. If you like this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace.